I might come to your town and tell me how to get tickets and that, you know. It's good value.
Hey, take care now. Thanks.
Mr. Carew, wishing to be allowed to be able to welcome
you into Blizzard. This would guide you to the underground. This entry into Blizzard, you enter into the substation.
Well, Mr. Ashok Joshi, please contact airport information.
Such a lovely day out today, isn't it? Would you please come to enjoy the evening?
I thought the screenplay was great. I have to say, it's Randy Newman's film. No, one of the things. It's Robert De Niro, Robin Williams, and Randy Newman.
Well, Bob's keen on Randy's film score.
Hello on.
It was stagnant. It was a totally stagnant place for a number of years. I used to visit here when I was a refugee.
The power to deliver.
What's that? I don't machine goulash. Well, veg every Alison.
No, I just fancied the green one tonight.
No, it wouldn't be a certain tall, dark flatmate of mine called Troy.
No, won't you like it a breakfast? Go on. No, go on. No, not even for a dairy slice. Well, where then?
Great guarantees. 6-year long-term warranties. And you can have any Proton with only 2% finance, APR 3.7. Or pay only 10% deposit with our carefree motoring plan and get 2 years servicing and road tax free. And 2 years insurance for only £99. And on top of all that, the really big difference between Proton and the major manufacturers is price. Any questions?
Yes. Can you repeat that for my wife?
Confused, madam? Wondering which
The
quality
new
cars?
generation of Proton cars. Clearly exceptional value.
There's 10%
Drawings. After the 50 play goes to comic relay. 50 play coming up.
For fun on the line, phone Happy Time on 0898 50 50 50, 24 hours a day. That's Happy Time on 0898 50 50 50. Phone now.
Sky News Sunrise, keeping Britain on top of the world every morning, across the UK and across the time zones. All the news from around the world, 5 till 9:30. First-hand reports, finance, breaking events, news updates, expert analysis, sport and weather. Give us 30 minutes and we'll give you the world every morning. Sunrise from Sky News. Coming soon to Sky One.
What, Mr. Hey, what? What is it, General Watt? What? Oh, good question, Mr. Watt. I think Professor Watt can answer that one. What? What? The evidence cover is that its structure defies analysis, and it has a cheesy taste that is out of this world.
Just a what set?
What?
It's a cheesy what set.
What is it? It's not a what's it. With Silent Night, you get a revolutionary spring system, not just in the mattress, but also in the base. So no matter how heavy your partner, there's no roll together. The result, a perfect night's sleep. We would recommend, however, that when you've got the ultimate sleep system, you get the ultimate alarm system as well. The ultimate sleep system from Silent Night.
898 550055.
It's controversial.
Thank you. You wouldn't like to put the rubbish out Thursday evening?
No.
But to come very early on Friday morning.
Yep.
And you want to get the cat out?
No.
Or the cleaning lady in?
Yep. Yeah, I mean none.
You will be alright, won't you, darling?
Probably.
Apparently. Then place in direct sunlight while you turn your attention to your beds. Flora Margarine for your blooming generation.
Businesses in Britain, the ones that know about fast.
I'll get them there.
And the ones that wish they did. Royal Mail Parcel Force. The power to deliver.
Ash, a little comic relief from PG.
Man, Jake,
PG will donate 25p to Comic Relief every time you send off for a free PG Magic mug. Fill up with PG, and before you can say Rudolph, there's a red nose on your mug. PG, raising laughs and money too.
Magic!
Burger King. It's flame grilled with lettuce, onion, and tomato for just 99p. Well worth dropping in for. The 99p Whopper from Burger King, from now till Sunday only.
Meet new friends on the telephone. 0898 66
Cold line with Thames Television in a couple of minutes.
I'm Lugosi and I'm looking for a strong, self-assured boyfriend.
I'm Catherine, I'm married and I'd like to find some women friends.
Hi, I'm Rocky. I'm looking for a woman to share my life with.
Hello and welcome to Contact, the programme which offers you the chance to make new friends, contact old buddies or find that special romantic partner. I'm Trevor Ward.
And I'm Susie Smith. Yes, if you're wanting to make new contacts, then there could well be someone on this week's programme for you. Our guests include a sales manager, a science student, an accountant, a freelance bookkeeper, a former promotions executive, and even a roller hockey team. So you can't say we don't have variety on this show.
And just in case you're a bit confused, no, the hockey team isn't looking for romance, but our first guest is. Ngozi is a 25-year-old student of Nigerian origin who lives in East London and is currently doing a BSc Honours degree in Science and Technology. At 6 feet tall, Ngozi is looking for a male companion who measures up to her in every respect. Ngozi, welcome to Contacts.
Thank you.
Now, you are very tall. Has that caused problems with boyfriends in the past?
No, not really.
So why are you so keen then that the boyfriend you meet should be so tall?
Well, it would look pretty funny if, you know, I was like half a foot taller.
Yeah, it's purely for that reason, yeah.
Yes.
Now I know you have very strong ideas about the sort of guy you'd like to meet. What sort of qualities are you looking for?
Well, he must be, well, as I said before, self-assured.
Strong-willed?
Yeah, strong-willed. He must pride himself on his dress sense.
What sort of things don't you want to see him wearing?
Well, just...
Flares?
Well, he has to be... well, he has to be clean and...
So, Ngozi is a 6 feet tall Nigerian living in East London. She's a 25-year-old science student and a modern jazz freak who loves discos, restaurants and travelling. She'd like to meet a tall, self-assured man aged between 25 and 42. So if you're a snazzy dresser and you'd like to contact Ngozi, we'll give you an address to write to at the end of the programme and we'll make sure that she gets all your letters.
Well, if you think this looks difficult, you want to try it on roller skates. The Forest Hill Aces street hockey team have just rolled into Jones and John Watson, you're their coach. Tell me a little bit about street hockey, because I've never heard of it before.
30-year-old accountant from Essex who's single but would love to get married and have children. 6 years ago, he found God while serving a 6-month prison sentence for incitement to commit robbery. Hey, welcome to Contacts. It's actually, some people would consider it very brave of you to appear on a TV programme and admit to the fact that you were convicted of criminal.
Was either brave or very
Which do you consider it?
probably a bit of both. Brave, yes, because it gives me a chance to let people know who I am, what I am, and what God means to me.
So let's talk about, you spent 6 months in prison altogether. What did you learn from the experience? What benefits did you accrue from it?
Well, really, it's the best time of my life. 6 months sitting back doing nothing. A lot of people would envy me. But no, it made me grow up. It made me realise that there's more to life instead of just having a good time.
Yeah.
It also made me realise that there's a greater power out there than just yourself.
We're talking about God, yeah?
Yeah, we're talking about God.
So what happened when you left, when you were released? You devoted your life to church activities and that sort of thing, haven't you?
Yes, I found it difficult when I first left. I very nearly drifted away from the church because there was no motivation to go. But when I did make the effort, I found that there was a whole family waiting for me. And work that I could do and people I could mix with who would accept me for what I am. And yet put on a front.
And you're now writing a book about your experiences so far?
Yes, yes. Very slow going, but it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
You've got a lot to tell, I'm sure.
Well, for the years my age, there's a good few chapters, yes.
So tell us about the sort of woman you'd like to meet then.
Now, dream woman. Young, slim, attractive, preferably a non-smoker. If she's none of those things, it doesn't matter, as long as she's caring and loving.
I was going to say, because I know, for example, that looks aren't too important.
No.
No.
Personality.
What sort of interest do you have then that she'd have to be aware of?
My main interests are badminton and sign language.
Sign language for the deaf, yeah.
Yes.
Well, why you? Have you got an interest in that?
It's something that I feel I've been guided into. It's not something I went into off my own back.
Right.
It just came up out of the blue, and I've taken it like a duck takes to water. Interesting. It gives me a chance to meet other people when I show them how to do it.
Now, because you're so engrossed in your church work, does the girl you meet, does she have to be religious?
It doesn't have to be. No. I would like it to be, obviously.
But you'd like it to at least be sympathetic?
Yes, yes.
And if you were to go on and have a family and have children, you would expect to bring the children up in a religious way?
I would expect them to be Christian children, because they'd be, as far as I'm concerned, a Christian home. And even if my wife wasn't a Christian, I would be there, and all fathers have an influence on their children.
Okay, Ian, thanks very much.
Thank you.
So, Ian is a 30-year-old accountant living in Essex. He's a born-again Christian who's heavily involved in church activities. Ian's looking for a loyal partner for marriage and to have children with. Someone who is soft and gentle and a non-smoker who would be sympathetic to his religion. Well, if you feel you fit the bill and would like to meet Ian, write to him now. The address will be coming up at the end of the programme.
Family arguments are inevitable in most households, but it's sad when they aren't resolved. It's now 25 years since Irene Hill last saw her son, Richard Angus Hill. He's in the left of this photo, taken 28 years ago. He left home when he was 27 after an argument with his sister. Irene has no idea where Richard is living, but knows that he married a Marie Combford. He used to be an electrician and is now 52. Irene feels that at the ripe age of 78, she hasn't many years of her life left, and would therefore really like to hear from her son, just to know if he's happy and well. So if you know Richard Hill, do ask him to contact us and we'll put him in touch with his mother.
As the song goes, when you've got friends and neighbours, the whole world is a happier place. But when you haven't, then things aren't so hot. Well, with us we have two people who are looking for new friends. Michael is 25, single and unemployed. He's recently moved to North London, and because he isn't working, is finding it difficult to meet new people. Catherine is 41, happily married but without children. Her friends are now busy bringing up their own families, and Catherine finds she misses female company. Catherine, what's so special about female company?
Well, you have male company. If you never had any, you'd miss it. You've got to have somebody of your own gender to be able to chat to about female things, somebody to go shopping with. It's all very well taking your husband to buy a new dress, but it's not quite the same as getting a female.
You don't get the same sort of judgment.
You don't get the same sort of feedback.
You're quite lucky because you have quite a lot of spare time, don't you?
Yes, I'm self-employed, which means that I can work as and when I want to, but I usually find that I've got Fridays spare, so that I can, spend Friday as I want to.
Catherine, I couldn't agree with you more. You need a chance to have a good gossip, don't you?
Yeah.
So what kind of activities would you like to do with these new female friends?
Really just female pastimes, going shopping, having a good old chat, perhaps going to the cinema, seeing a film or a concert that my husband wasn't particularly interested in.
Yeah, being unemployed, it's quite difficult to meet people, and it gets quite lonely being inside all day. So maybe there'll be somebody in a similar position to me.
So what about if one of these relationships led to romance? Maybe not marriage, but it led to romance.
Well, I'm prepared to keep an open mind and see how things go. Initially, I wouldn't be thinking of romance, but I will keep an open mind.
Can you describe the sort of qualities then these friends should have?
Well, primarily I want somebody who is non-materialistic, not a sort of yuppie type of person. being unemployed, I can't really afford to do a lot of expensive things. And even if I was working, I'm fairly left-wing and non-materialistic, so preferably somebody similar to that.
Tell us a bit about your own hobbies and interests then.
Well, I do a lot of keep fit things. I go swimming a lot, cycling, jogging, and I like all sorts of different sporting activities. I'm also keen on cinema, I like reading, and sometimes I like to just stay in and watch television.
It must be pretty restrictive for you if you haven't got a lot of money to get out and about. I mean, do you manage I mean, those things presumably don't cost you too much money, but do you find that there are other things you'd like to do that you just can't afford to do?
Not particularly. It can be difficult with some things, but I'm not the sort of person who likes to go out drinking in expensive wine bars anyway. So a lot of the more expensive things I wouldn't be that interested in doing.
Right. Club or evening class with, because she doesn't like to try new things on her own.
Like Catherine, Michael too wants to meet new friends, but of the opposite sex. He loves swimming, cycling and reading, and because he's not working, he can only do inexpensive things. He'd like to meet intelligent, non-smoking females, preferably vegetarian, between the ages of 18 and 30, who he can talk and relate to. Well, if you'd like to contact either Catherine or Michael, we'll give you the address to write to at the end of the programme.
We've had a letter this week from someone trying to trace an old pen friend. Michelle, whose maiden name is Matthews, is an American living in the UK. Back in the mid-60s, she had an English pen pal called Marion Sawyer. Michelle says they lost touch, and when she moved to England in 1976, she tried to trace Marion at her old address in Edgware, Middlesex, but she'd moved. She doesn't have a photograph of Marion, but if you know a Marion Sawyer who used to have an American pen pal, please ask her to contact Michelle at the contact's address. It's a real shame, isn't it, when they've been pen pals for all those years, that she lost touch as soon as her friend moved into the country.
I think there's a subtle moral in there somewhere.
You think so?
Now, we've had another request this week from twin sisters Kitty and Nora, who are 83 this month, and they'd love to see their nieces, Joanna and Margaret McCarthy, again. They were last seen at their father's funeral 12 years ago. Joanna used to live in Brixton, and Margaret was last known to be living in Sheffield. Well, if you know of a Joanna or Margaret McCarthy, their twin aunts, Kitty and Nora, would like to hear from them. The address to write to is coming up at the end of the programme, and we'll pass your letters on to them.
Rocky is a 27-year-old computer sales manager from North London who's looking for the right woman to share his life with. He has a mixture of Irish, Spanish and Anglo-Indian blood running through his veins. So does that mean he has a fiery and hot-blooded temperament to go with it, or is he only interested in his software? What a cinch. Tell me a little bit about your background, because it's absolutely fascinating.
Right, my father was on the Spanish side, that's where I inherited the Spanish origin. My mother was on the Irish side, and although her father was Anglo-Indian.
So the name Rocky is, I mean, that's sort of a derivative, isn't it? From
it is, it goes back from Rosh. Rosh is my real name. From primary school, they started calling me Rock and Rocky. But just to go one stage further, I was born on a saint's birthday, being a Roman Catholic, and my mother decided to call me after a saint's birthday. I'm certainly by no means a saint, and that was Aloysius, so there's a bit of a mixture, which I don't use Aloysius that often, so I've been known, in fact, you guys out there have called me Rocky from primary school, from day one, really.
So, and you're from a huge family, aren't you? With like 7 brothers and sisters, so you obviously had to fight for survival, right?
Yeah, very much so. In actual fact, although I'm the middle one, I've got 3 older and 3 younger, I've always played the mediator to the family. They always say, okay, Rocky will sort it out, or Rocky will compose that letter, so I've always played like big brother, even to...
So you're the organiser?
I like to think so sometimes.
And are you an organiser at work as well? Does your role at work involve that?
Yeah, very much so. In fact, I've just started a new contract whereby I've joined a relatively new company which has a very good financial sound backing, and I'm setting up a computer division to attract computer software houses to come into us and basically organise the customer services as well.
So that organisation then sort of spills over a bit into your personal life, doesn't it? Because you've said to us that women tend to sort of perceive you as being a bit of an organiser, and you're not too happy about being perceived in that way.
No, I think, Susan, they always look at me and try to sort out their problems, and they always think for one moment, take a deep breath and say, what about Rocky, or how is Rocky? I don't know if it's me because I portray that, I always sort out other people's problems, but I'd like now to get involved with somebody where I can equally be part of their problem, if you like.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about them. What are the qualities that you're looking for?
Right, age is immaterial. I'm looking for somebody with integrity and honesty, a happy-go-lucky person, an all-rounder basically. Yes, with their head screwed on, very mature. When one says has she to be attractive, I think every woman is attractive in their own right, and their personality comes out, their character. You get to you like this and grow on that.
So what about your interest? Now it sounds very posh, but you're a member of a country club. Is that very?
Well, it does. When people say that, I think no, it's not at all like that. I like horse riding. In fact, what I spend on a weekend horse riding is what I might blow on a meal local. So it's not at all this glamorous stuff. I like going out. It's quite relaxing and very, very down to earth. It really is.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like you've got plenty to talk about. Thanks very much for coming on. So Rocky is a 27-year-old computer sales manager from North London who loves photography, dancing, and relaxing at his country club. He wants to share his life with someone who is honest, open, and has integrity. Someone he can settle down with and have children. If you think Rocky is the man for you, you can write to him at the address coming up in a minute.
And we've just had an urgent request for, would you believe it, a jukebox. Sarah is a film student at the Pimlico School of Art and Media. She's currently producing a video for her graduation this year, and she desperately needs the use of a jukebox on March the 19th and 20th for a scene which is being shot in a pub in Queen's Park. It should look as though it came from the 60s and should be able to play 45-speed singles records. Sarah's prepared to pay a minimal hire fee. Well, if you've got an old jukebox tucked away in your garage in working order, do phone the contact number without any delay, because Sarah is eager to hear from you as soon as possible.
And here's a reminder of the people you've seen tonight. Ngozi wants to find a strong, self-assured boyfriend. The Forest Hill Aces need a covered venue for their league matches. Ian wants a girlfriend with a view to marriage and children. Catherine is seeking women friends. Michael also wants to make new female friends. And Rocky wants to meet an honest, open woman to share his life. If you'd like to get in touch with any of these people, here's the address to write to. Put the name of the person concerned on the envelope and send it to Contacts, P.O. Box 1177, London NW1 3BS. That's Contacts, P.O. Box 1177, London NW1 3BS.
And remember, it doesn't matter how unusual your request is, we'd still like to hear from you. We're the programme who found people to fill a pantomime cow, who put Michael Jackson lookalikes in touch with each other, and who found an all-girl backing group for a rap artist. Nothing is beyond us. So ring us now on 071 388 1313. That's 071 388 1313. And the lines will stay open for an hour from now. Or you can phone in between 9:30 in the morning and 5 p.m. on any weekday.
And you'll find the phone number and address on Oracle page 249. That's all from us this week. We'll be back the same time next week. See you then. Bye.
Sit down with due care.
I gotta find a ceiling that's high enough. I gotta find a floor that's on the ground. I gotta find a ceiling that's high enough. I gotta find a floor that's on the ground.
Go back 20 years, you probably could have
More than 100 MPs have signed a House of Commons motion calling for the removal of Lord Lane from his post as Lord Chief Justice as a result of the release of the Birmingham Six. In 1988, Lord Lane presided over a month to decide whether their country breaks up or survives. Yugoslavia is facing a growing danger of civil war. Police are investigating claims of corruption in British Rail and British Telecom. BBC Radio News, it's 10 minutes past 9. Now our review of the Sunday papers. The budget, the poll tax and the timing of the next general election are issues that attract much coverage this morning. The Sunday Times, in its front page lead, is among a number of papers to predict that the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Mr. Norman Lamont, will pave the way for more cuts in interest rates when he presents his first budget on Tuesday. The paper quotes senior ministers as saying that a June general election remains a distinct possibility. Chairman, Mr. Chris Patton, that the government may wait until the autumn or next year before calling an election. In what's billed as an exclusive interview, the Express says Mr. Patton made it clear that he wouldn't allow a June bandwagon to limit the Prime Minister's range of options. The Sunday Telegraph focuses attention on the role of Mrs. Thatcher in the run-up to the election. Increasingly clear that the former Prime Minister could have a decisive effect on the Conservatives' electoral fortunes, and that this is something of no little concern at Central Office. The Independent on Sunday detects signs of desperation among ministers. Edition of this family business. Now you could be